Hi, I'm Pat Fiume, and I'm a realtor with Remax of Cherry Hill. I've been doing this for 36 years. I'm also a host of the American Dream. Today, we're going to start my podcast. Is this for real estate? So welcome back. I'm here with Michelle Pohubka. She runs Federation Title. We're here at their office. They were kind enough to let us shoot our videos here. And welcome, Michelle, to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pat.
So you run the title company basically from start to finish when you get a contract. So can you explain to me what a title company does and what the purpose is, I guess, first of all?
Yes. So the title company provides insurance to buyers and also to mortgage companies, the lenders. So there's two policies. There's one for the buyers and one for the lenders. Mm-hmm. For the buyers, the insurance covers them in regards to any future financial loss that could occur from a claim made against their home. What I mean by that is if someone purchased a home and something came up from a prior owner, a tax lien was missed, a mortgage lien, any heirs from estates that happen to come up from the past, it protects the buyer.
So it's very important to have title insurance basically because it protects your investment in the home you're purchasing. Yes. Number one, I even have buyers all the time that say, I'm a cash buyer, I don't need title insurance. And I always tell them, if you don't get title insurance, you don't even buy the house. Because if somebody could come along, like you said, that has a claim to the home, and take it away from you basically, or you wind up with major problems. Yeah. So other than the title insurance, what happens once you get the file, like when we sell a house and you get the file in your hand, and what's the process at that point?
We run county and court searches against the current owners and all the owners in the past 60 plus years. We make sure that the chain of title has been correctly conveyed to the next purchaser throughout that period of time, and any liens or judgments that are on the previous owners, are cleared by the time our new buyer purchases the property, so that they own the property free and clear.
Right. And then you, at that point, after everything is cleared up, then we have a settlement here or wherever the settlement's at?
Yes. And we also handle the monies. So being that the money normally comes from a mortgage company, they'll send us the funds since we are insuring them as they feel comfortable us handling those type of funds and dispersing them properly to the parties in the transaction.
So you disperse it buyer, seller, and the realtor's commissions?
Yes.
Unless it's a cash buyer, then all the money comes from the cash buyer at that point. So, and I know you've done other things. I'm talking about the chain of title. We just had one that you had to help me with because another title company couldn't clear it. It was passed through the family, and there was an heir that was under 18 back in 1958 or something. They're all now, I just sold this house and I had to get you involved here because the other title company wouldn't accept. They were asking for an estate from somebody from the 40s, and no one even knew who the person was. Yeah. Somehow you guys figured it out for us. You're like, it's like a puzzle. Sometimes some of these pieces that to get these titles clear. I think we had another one. It passed from two brothers from the father, and a deed was missing, and my buyer found that you told me to find a specific deed. We had every deed. You and Samantha were telling me there was one deed missing, and they went to the basement in an old safe, and it smelled like mold. It was disgusting, but they had it. Yeah, and you told me what to do. Like, I know I've called you many times in a panic. What do I do, right? Yes. So she also keeps realtors calm and helps us get through these transactions, when we need help.
Yes.
And I know I have a new construction site too, and they handle all of our titles there and with the builder, because that's really a two-step process because he builds under one LLC and sells under another, and they handle all that because my builder is very tough that way. He trusts you guys explicitly, so he loves when you're the title, you do the titles, and he knows everything's going to be perfect. So, but I guess also you also will let sellers come in if they don't want to go to closing, or if they're leaving out to go out of state and have to make a closing, in another state, or just don't want to be here can't be here for some reason. They also have services where you meet them and go over the paperwork with them.
Yes.
And sign the deed and the deed package and non-attending docs in advance that way.
Yeah.
They don't have to come and everything's taken care of.
Yes, we can accommodate them in several different ways to make it smoother for them.
So I guess in closing, do you have any funny stories you can think about, something that happened in a settlement or before or during that you'd like to share? Pick one, right?
I know. I mean, normally the stories aren't funny.
Yeah, that's true.
They're kind of horrifying
Yeah.
sometimes because,
Yeah.
buyers are trying to buy a house.
Oh, yeah.
Could end up homeless if transaction doesn't fall through, but
It happened to me, my first house.
and that's horrifying for somebody.
Yeah.
But yes, we had buyers heading here to closing, and we were wondering where the seller is, and the seller didn't show up because the seller just had passed.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's not funny at all, but it
happens.
It happened.
I had one too I had that happen.
Unfortunately, the buyer couldn't buy that day, and they were upset. They were homeless, but
You had to figure it out, what to do.
yeah, there they had to go through the surrogate court to get the proper paperwork to now
To
sell
sell it as an estate.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's happened to me a couple times. I had one with Abby, who was my first guest on here, that the seller was two sisters, and one of the sisters passed away suddenly a week before closing. And this was before COVID. Abby happened to know the surrogate in Burlington County, so she took the will down and got everything done, so we made closing, I think, on time, but it was like this close,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess we also once in a while have these couples that are fighting, or buyers and sellers that are fighting. And you never know what you're going to walk into at a closing.
Yes.
But a lot of that drama has, I think, gone away with the regulations for the mortgage company. Installed a few years ago. Like, most of the stuff is taken care of except for the personal stuff at the end.
Yes.
It's not as much drama as there used to be.
Yeah, and we also allow for the buyers and sellers to come separately, or if the sellers can come a day or two ahead of time, or put in separate rooms.
Yeah, I've had that happen a few times. I've had sellers in separate rooms because they were getting divorced and couldn't even be in the same room together. I had one that lunged at her husband over the table and started choking him because they were sitting on opposite sides. So I had to take her into another room one time. It was interesting, but you just never know. But we do have funny stories of things that happen. I had this little old guy. He was years ago, like 30 years ago, was buying a duplex from me, and when the title clerk said, "Okay, $80,000," he pulled his pocket a paper bag. It was like, you don't see it anymore today.
Oh, geez.
But he brought out $80,000 cash to buy this duplex. I'll never forget it. I was like, huh? I told him to bring a check. He brought a bag, a brown paper bag. Well, thank you so much for being a guest here today, Michelle.
Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.